Welcome back. We're still with the governor of Imo State and the chairman of APC Governors Forum. Thank you for joining us once again. Well, right now, the government has claimed that it has dislodged the Boko Haram sect, but we still see several killings. I mean, the kidnapping cases, the clashes between the Fulani herdsmen and the rest of it. And most of them is gradually and steadily creeping into the southeast. I mean, how are the governors going to help the situation?
Well, to be honest to you, my heart goes for the families that have lost their loved ones. This country has wasted so much blood, more than the Civil War had done. It's a painful situation, and it's very bad, so I condemn it. But relating to government's response or ability to curb this ugly situation, I would say that since President Buhari came into government, a lot of progress has been made. Quite frankly, if you know what used to happen at the northeast, you know that Boko Haram now is on the defensive. Before, we're on the defensive and on the offensive. Now they're on the defensive or on the offensive side, which is good news for Nigeria. And then this has been internationally acknowledged. But that is not to say it's completely wiped out. And remember, there's no society of man where there's no crime at all. There's not even in America. You still have pockets of this. But it wasn't as the case used to be, where they will come to a village and take 200 and something people. Even if it's rats, I mean, you can't pack them that number at a time, and we cannot account for where they are. But right now, a lot is being done. Our military has been strengthened. The morale is high. It's about leadership. You see, one thing I like about this gentleman Buhari, is about leadership, charisma. It's about charisma. I don't think even it's about how much you have put in yet. It's about charisma. And I think he has shown leadership. People are encouraged now. Soldiers can wake up and give their life for their nation. I mean, we commend them. We commend them. But what's happening now with the herdsmen, again, this is something evolving. The herdsmen thing has been on for so many years. But now what we're not able to do is to be able to separate criminals from Fulani herdsmen, you see. In this country, our problem is that whenever there's a crime, we tend to take the crime to a particular religion or particular tribe or particular group, rather than separating the people from that criminal activities and deal with the criminals or criminalities as the case may be. What we must do as a nation now is be able to treat these criminals as criminals, because those who want to politicize the entire place tend to now make it a tribal issue, and before you know it, the South is against the North, and the North is against the Muslims against Christian, and we don't achieve anything. If you come in as a person, we'll pull you out first of deal with you as a criminal before asking where you come from. But this unfortunate situation is rather very worrisome, like what happened in Enugu, which the whole world has condemned. And you had Mr. President saying, shoot where possible, to make sure this rubbish does not take place. So when you say Fulani herdsmen, criminals, the president is a Fulani man. Or when you say Igbos, kidnappers, I'm an Igbo man. And you, the press, are fond of doing that. Whenever there's kidnapping in Imo State or something, you put my picture as if I'm the criminal, instead of putting the picture of the criminal. So that's one of the paintings that we don't want to take place in this country. We have a challenge. We have a security challenge. And we must fight it to save this nation.
How?
The criminal, of course, we have to support our police, support our army, and they're doing well. They did well. They're doing well. As far as I'm concerned, they're doing very well. We have cases of kidnapping every day. We'll catch them every day.
The governors want a review of the revenue sharing formula. What informed this call?
I agree. I think there's over-centralization of power in Nigeria. And I hope my APC government will go into that area to devolve power, devolution of power. Because what is happening in this country, tell no one, but I can share this with you, is that we have this big head called federal government, and we have this bulging small tummy, which is called the state, and these feeble legs called local government. So you have a situation of kwashiorkorism, where the economy is moving like a kwashoko, big hair. So anytime there's downfall in oil price, you see the whole thing moving as if it's going to, the anytime there's enough, you see us moving very fast. For how long? So there must be devolution of authority. That's the only way. Federal government shouldn't have more than the state will have and local government. What's the activity that takes place in federal government? Tell me, they don't have any land outside the city. So there's over-centralization of power.
So are you saying that states cannot increase its own internally generated revenue?
No. They are doing more to get revenue. What do you get from a poor man? Lagos is big in revenue because there are factories there and because of the water and everything, former capital. Abuja is because of 10 million states. What can you do? You see, one problem links to another. Are you going to tax these poor peasant farmers?
All we have are peasant farmers in states.
We have poor people, of course. We have them a lot. You don't know? We have a lot of them. In fact, in my own case, let me tell you what I've done. Rather than this, I introduced free education from primary to secondary university. And let me tell you, the UNESCO and World Bank had Imo State poverty rate 2011 as 57%. Today it has come down to 19%. Why? Because of this my free education policy, which allows all these widows and poor people who never had something to eat, who have to go and sell their chicken and sell their birds and sell their farm products, only to tie the money at the edge of their wrappers, waiting for them to pay for school fees. With the introduction of this free education, they're no longer tied. In fact, they don't know when the school resumes. They now use that little money now to feed their family. That's what brought about poverty rate. So to tell that people are still poor in this country, believe me, they are. So when you talk about tax and generation of revenues, of course, there must be activities that can generate revenue for you. And how much is revenue? And meanwhile, you have over-bloated workforce in all parts of this country. You have more workers than you have for capital projects. Look at my state now, I have 45,000 workers. But whatever comes in the state now, the workers take almost 95% of whatever comes to the state, leaving only 5% for development. So you can imagine, where reverse would have been the case. Maybe workers take 30%, have 70%. Imo will be like London in 5 years' time.
Well, Governor Rochas Okorocha, thank you so much for your time and for coming on Dateline Abuja.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your mails. Keep your views and comments coming using the address and Twitter handle on your screen. You can also let us know anything happening within your area, especially if you are in the nation's capital. Don't forget you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. You can make your comments after viewing the videos. Always remember to include your name and where you are writing from. I'm Amaka Okafu. See you again.